Hello, I am Elena Valdez and I am here to do the Leo Child Tarot. This reading is intended for the parents or guardian of the Leo child. And I'll be asking 3 questions from the perspective of the Leo child. And I will finish off with an advice card for you, the parent. Oops. And I'd like to also ask you to please subscribe to this channel. I'm new here on YouTube and very much want to get it out there in front of other people to see. Okay, so let's get started. And we are going to start with the first position here, and that is what your Leo child is experiencing during the month of December. And yes, I know December's already here. Crazy, huh? Okay, so Queen of Cups. Very nice. So the Queen of Cups is all about being very content and balanced emotionally, as well as very intuitive, heart chakra open, very compassionate, loving, affectionate, very open to his or her siblings and classmates and neighbors and whatnot, playmates. And this is a very nice card to get. So what I'm picking up here is that your little Leo, and by the way, I failed to mention, I use gender pronouns loosely here. So he, she, they, for ease of the read, but please, this is not a gender specific reading. Apply it to how it resonates best for you and your household. So the Queen of Cups is basically what this is saying is that your child is having a pretty good December here, very much in his heart space and enjoying the time with playmates and those around him, his toys, his creativity, because the Queen of Cups is very creative as well, very intuitive. And so you may notice in December that your child very much wants to intuitively create. So in terms of advice to the parent is really allow your child to be a bit of a genius creative, because what happens with the Queen of Cups is that it's not a creative in the way that we know it in standard tradition. It's very intuitive and watery. So you may notice that your child is creating things that are a little different, not something that he or she has done before, dreamy and watery. And maybe you may even catch yourself asking yourself, well, where did he or she learn that from? Where did he get that from? And that's very much because they didn't learn it from anywhere. Your little one isn't picking up this creative from a movie or a show he's watching. It's coming intuitively and it's beautiful. Okay, so that is what they're experiencing during the month of December. And here's the challenge, which is very interesting because this card on its own, the Five of Swords, even when not in the challenge position, is a challenge. So definitely there's a double whammy happening here. So there's a bit of conflict surrounding your child. Another thing that happens with the Queen of Cups over here is a sense of independence and ownership in terms of their own authority. So the conflict, Five of Swords, by the way, is competition, conflict with others. So it could be that this new independence or this creative, intuitive independence that your child is experiencing during the month of December is causing some kind of friction with his or her playmates because the ideas are so different. So kind of imagine being on a play yard, schoolyard, and one child says, let's go create little airplanes in the lake. I know that's so random, but I'm just like coming up with an idea here. And so the intuitive child gets this intuitive hit to go play in the lake or to create something wild inside the lake. And the other kiddos look at him like, you're crazy. That doesn't make sense. Why would we create something in the lake when we can do it outside of the lake where it's dry? Like, why would we want to do that? And the thing about it is it doesn't seem normal or it doesn't make sense to the other kiddos. But the child coming up with the idea to build something under the lake has gotten some kind of intuitive hit creatively. I hope that makes sense. So that can cause a little bit of friction, right? So you see this little guy's holding the sword and the other kiddos in the background. I hope you can see that. I know there's a bit of a glare. I apologize. And you see those other kiddos here in the back that are sort of like, we just don't get you, dude. Like, I don't understand where you're going with this. And so, you could observe, the reason we ask what your child's challenges during the month of December is not so much for you to change it or meddle in it. It's more for you to be aware, right? So that you can, be the child's support when you see this come up. And so this is something that your child is going through, and it could be with siblings, it could be with neighbors, it could be with classmates, it can even be with adults, right? It could be competitive because your child is shining and in his or her own authority, and very sure, by the way, very sure, but with conviction. These ideas are going to come up, there's going to be a sense of conviction in your child in terms of where they're going with their creative and their ideas and whatever fun stuff they're getting themselves into. I literally just got the vision of a little Leo child, doing a regular board game with its everyday norms and rules and completely changing the rules on it because something else makes more sense to her. And so stuff like that is what's going to be happening here in December. I don't feel anything too heavy, but your little child, Leos are very sensitive. They come off confident and they are confident and they shine, but they have very sweet hearts. And so, your little Leo could experience a little bruising here. So just be aware of that and what your child needs most from you. And I really do consider this position to be the most important position of my reading because it tells you what your child needs most from you, the parent. And look at this. So perfect. The Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is all about new creative ideas. It's also about starting new projects from scratch, creating them from nothing, which is exactly what we're talking about here. And also exploring, new avenues, new ways of doing things, as well as new affection and emotion. So there's going to be quite a concentration here. You're going to notice your child is in deep focus on whatever it is that they've stumbled upon that's caught their attention during December. And what your child needs from you is to facilitate that, like enable them, inspire them, play with them, go along with them on this journey. If they make up some weird random game that you never thought could exist, go along with it. It's okay. It's fantasy world, right? It could really lead to something great for your child here. You have quite a genius creative here happening. Also, Ace of Cups is all about new ways of expressing love as well. So for you, the parent, could you be expressing your love through other ways that you haven't explored before? Perhaps there's something you can do together with your child. Like this is really about play, creative, and love, right? So, and it's about what your child needs most from you. So not only does your child need you to enable, but needs you to be a part of it as well and facilitate it. So look out for opportunities in creating new ways of expressing your love because your child's really going to be open to that. And what happens when we are open, when our heart centers are open, we also become a little bit more vulnerable, right? Especially with children here. So you're gonna notice that there's a little bit more than usual vulnerability coming from your little Leo. So it's beautiful. It's very nice. Leos do best when their heart chakras are open because they are very creative. And that's the space that they need to be in to activate that. Okay, so we're going to end this reading with an advice card for you, the parent. And the advice card is usually related, or it's in relationship to your child. Not always. Sometimes it does show up with a separate message just for you. But most of the time, I would say it's in relationship. And usually it comes back to the challenge. So let's see what Spirit has for you in terms of an advice card for December. Oh, okay, Spirit, what advice do you have for the Leo child, parent, or guardian? And I know that you're all here for different age range. That's fine. You could be here for little itty bitty babies. You may be here for a teenager, or you might even be here for an adult that you still consider your child. It's all good. It's all valid. Okay. So here we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lots of creative going on in your household, or lots of need to create in your household. You got the Two of Wands. So first and foremost, twofold here. Number one, for you, the parent, you're being asked here to dream about your next step, your plan for yourself as an adult, as a parent. Where do you want to travel to? When, of course, when things open up and we're allowed to, right? Where do you want to travel? What new creative projects have you been dreaming of that you haven't done for yourself? This is a time for you to be inspired by your child's motivation to do so, but also it's a great opportunity for you to also open your heart chakra and your creativity, so that your child can see that, can use that as inspiration as well. And so the Two of Wands is about looking at potential for the future. It's about planning, it's about thinking, and really being in that space of dreaming up things that you may have not in the past had the time, money, or even courage to do. And so the Two of Wands, it gives you an opportunity to pause, or it's asking you for an opportunity to pause and really think of the possibilities and the things that make you uncomfortable because they either seem too out of reach or too exciting, or perhaps you have created a life for yourself that's so comfortable. You see how there's one wand that she's holding on to here, which represents the possibility of where she may go. And then there's another wand steady against the edifice that she currently lives in, right? And so one wand represents sturdy stability, fixed, stable energy, not wanting to move, being comfortable where you are. And the other one represents the dreaming of where you'd like to be. So there is a connection here. Your child being stimulated, the conflict and maybe criticism that he or she is experiencing from others about his or her new creative here is somehow also connected to your deepest desires of the things that perhaps you'd like to do as well for yourself. So here, in terms of an advice card, you have a great opportunity to maybe talk to your child about the things that you would like to do for yourself creatively, or that you used to at one point wanted to, never did, and perhaps now you want to. It's a full circle deal happening here. It's not just about your dreams that perhaps, new dreams that you're dreaming, and maybe old dreams that you're bringing back to the surface here. It's full circle, and also inspiring your child to do the same for herself. It's really beautiful. But really at the crux of it here is you and the desires that you have for your life. Because at the end of the day, that will inspire your child. Because, children are always observing, right? They're seeing, they know if we're happy or if we're not happy. They're always aware. So anyhow, I hope this was helpful, and please, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel. It would really help me a lot. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here again, and I hope you come back again next month. Bye.